Hello everyone, welcome back to Newtype Netplay. My name is Rosin. This is the series where I take a look at my old Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme vs. Maxi Boost ON match footage and I reflect on my progress and personal journey as a player. Yeah, I like that description. I think that's a good way to sum up what I'm trying to do with this series here. So yeah, what you're seeing is still old footage from all the way back in the pre-release days. This is still from the open beta towards the end of June and into the early sessions of July, I want to say as well, too. I think it's the last June beta period and the first July beta period is the time frame that we're talking about here. What you're seeing is me maybe not taking my first dive necessarily, not my first full dive into the 15K, or the, I should say, the 1500 cost unit pool in this game, but you know, I'm dipping my toe in the water here with the Acguy. Now, there are, as I've discussed previously, there are 4 different groups of mobile suits in this game. There's the 3000 cost units up at the top, the 2500s right below them, the 2000s below them, and then all the way at the bottom we have the 1500 costs, which the Acguy right here is. And a lot of people, when they first start playing the game, they think, you know, oh, I don't want to be a burden on my partner, and I don't want to take away too much from the team's life bar when I die, because I'm probably going to be bad for a bit, and I don't want to feel too bad taking big chunks out of the life bar when we die. So a lot of people are drawn to the 1500s when they first start because of that. What they fail to acknowledge is that the trade-off with being such a low-cost unit is that sometimes your mobile suits lack the tools to deal with all sorts of situations, and you kind of need to be a little bit familiar with the game, in my opinion, before you really dive into this unit pool. You really need to acknowledge the fact that you're playing as more of a specialist, or a suit that probably has less all-around tools to deal with certain situations, and more of a focused game plan that you should probably look into a little bit before you dive in. Which is something I clearly did not do with Acguy. I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck you're supposed to play this thing, or just how the fuck you're supposed to play lower cost units in general with this match footage. You're not going to see me do a lot of the good Acguy stuff. Acguy is actually pretty solid in this game. I did not do it justice in this match footage. Like I said, this is still from when I was very early on. Case in point, one thing that you're going to see a lot of expert Acguys do is travel around with a move that a lot of different mobile suits have in this game called a Pyon-kaku, is I want to say how you pronounce it. It's a Japanese term, but it's basically like a kind of like a forward lunge that kind of pops you up in the air and then smashes you back down, like a kind of like an overhead swing, or for Devil May Cry fans out there, like you can kind of think about it as like a quick jump in the air followed by a helm splitter. A lot of different mobile suits have it in the game, and it tends to be a very solid mobility option. Accuy's is ridiculous and can cover a lot of horizontal ground. It's honestly kind of like a Mario 64 long jump. And here we go, this is one of my favorite things about Acguy. So Acguy relies a lot on summoning assists and different other aquatic Zeon mobile suits, but Acguy Super, what it basically does, as you saw there a little bit ago, is that it summons 3 Acguys, and they hover in the air for a little bit, and if you're not careful, you can summon them and then accidentally run forward right into them. But what you can do is you summon the 3 Acguys, and then they start to like pinball around the stage, and they'll just hit anything in their path as they ricochet around. There you go, you can see it here too. I mean, this could, see, there you go, you just saw the other Acguy that I'm fighting the mirror match with got hit by him, but really, they'll hit anything from your partner to yourself to, you know, the other enemies and all that good stuff. It's just a very goofy super, and I'm really happy that's what they did for its super. Low-key, the Acguy is one of my favorite mobile suit designs, not gonna lie. It's definitely my favorite Zeonic aquatic mobile suit design from the 1-year war period. It just hits all the notes that I like in mecha design, or at least for a certain, I shouldn't say that. It hits a certain subset of mecha designs I like a lot, which is kind of the more like curvy, dorky-looking, goofy ones. Like I kind of like the Capule and the Capule from Turn A and ZZ Gundam, respectively. They're basically the same thing, but you know, they're technically different. Just that very dorky-looking Zeon Cyclops sea monster aesthetic. And, you know, of course, the Acguy kind of looks like a teddy bear, which they eventually capitalized on that fact. You know, I'm not the first person to make that observation with the build series where they have the bear guys and stuff like that, too, which are really cute and fun. But yeah, low-key, one of my favorite mecha designs of all time is the Acguy. Unironically, I love this thing. right here we got a pit Acguy mirror match here in the corner of this map against an Acguy who is using the, actually this player is using the Acguy Hamon variant, which is basically the Acguy with a bit more tools and the ability to play forward a little bit more and just go a little bit more on the offensive. Just has a few more tools and a pressure move to stun enemies with as well, if you can find the opportunity to use it. The Hamon version of the Acguy from Double Zeta here is actually a 2K cost unit, so yeah, it's just a little bit more of a souped-up version of the Acguy, but the trade-off is, of course, if you die, it's going to take more off the life bar as well. Funny enough, I feel like that is the one instance of this game, in my personal experience, where I like the clone. There's a few different Mobile Suit clones like that, if you want to call them that, or just, there are times where they add versions of Mobile Suits in the game where it's basically the same suit, but they nerf it or buff it so that it occupies a different space in a different Mobile Suit branch. Oh, that was a very good missile to punish that wake up, or the do the Oki or whatever the fuck fighting game term you want me to use there. They were waking up. I figured I might as well try to hit them on their wake up with the meaty missile. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Meaty missiles. And yeah, they could have blocked that or dodged out of the way, but they I don't know, maybe they were frazzled or not focused enough on me. So managed to win the round there with that sneaky little missile. But no, as I was saying, I feel like the two versions of the Acguy here are actually a pretty good case of the developers doing a good job making it worth it. There's a lot of times where I've tried out the different variant mobile suits, notably for the Zeta Gundam. You can use the there's a couple different versions of the Zeta Gundam. There's the Zeta Gundam, piloted by Camille. There's one piloted by Rue, and then there's a Zaku Zeta, and they're all like different enough. But I'm always kind of like, what did we really need this many Zetas? And even I feel like a lot of the variants that aren't just the plain old Zeta get kind of underutilized. A lot of the Seed and Seed Destiny, well, at least a couple of the Seed and Seed Destiny suits have that too. Like the Impulse Gundam has a version at a lower bracket piloted by Luna Maria that kind of sucks. Lacus has her own version of the Infinite Justice that is just terrible. It's kind of goofy how they do that, but Hamon's version of the Acguy, good clone, good clone. I think it's a worthy addition to the game. Managed to shoot out that one person's tires, and here I am, backstabbing my favorite mobile suit with one of my other favorite mobile suits. Fight of the Nightingale here. Summoning all my assists at once. That's actually one really bad habit I really needed to start kicking. Along with firing at my, yeah, that was really bad of me there. I have this nasty habit of just not thinking when the enemy is being comboed by my partner, and then accidentally like hitting them and cutting them out of the combo, which is something you never want to do. You always want to let your partners finish their combo because it's going to deal more damage to the enemy than if you try to join in on the action. You're just going to end up doing less damage and knocking them out of the combo, like kind of what I did there, unfortunately. Or worse, you could possibly miss the enemy that's getting comboed and hit your partner, which would be bad. So even, admittedly, I've recorded some 80-odd episodes of this, and there are still times where I find myself not thinking before looking over and firing, and accidentally hitting my opponent while they're being comboed by my partner. It's just a really, really bad habit that there's no excuses for me still having that. And after how many hours I've played this game, it's just something that I still accidentally find myself doing and just not paying enough attention. Sometimes I think that's a difficult thing to do, is not go into autopilot, and I am terrified as the Grim Reaper slowly encroaches on me as I get backed into a corner here. But I'm just shooting away, summoning all my friends. This is a great metaphor for the horrors of life. I'm just trying to vibe in the corner here and be my cute little dorky self, and then the Grim Reaper's coming to try to push my shit in, and I just gotta shoot missiles and back the fuck away and hope I don't get taken out here. But something I should actually note while still, it looks like he's giving up on me. Oh no, there we go. Okay, no, see, there we go. Honestly, good on that Death Scythe for avoiding a lot of my projectiles. I guess he didn't, the player did not avoid good enough because I ended up killing them. But, you know, they were doing pretty good sidestepping some of my bullshit there. So yeah, this match is going pretty solid. Just gotta kill this Death Scythe. I got taken out, but that's okay. Again, 1500 cost. Not the end of the world. And yeah, both of them are looking fairly low on HP here. Though, my partner did get taken out, unfortunately. So, and they are going to be overcost because I died first, but not the end of the world. Look at that. Death Scythe is real low, and... Ooh, you hate to see this type of thing happen. It was a beta. It was a beta. Sometimes this shit happens. Matches crap out on you the worst possible time. I fully believe we would have won that match. I really fully believe that. I don't think they rage quit either. I think that was just, honest to God, the beta being the beta. But yeah, that I just wanted to include it in there because that was one of my better Acguy matches, I think. But yeah, sometimes shit happens and the connection just gets lost. Real bummer. Real bummer. But yeah, as I've been trying to find the opportunity to say this, but one thing that you really need to be careful about with the Acguy is you need to rely... excuse me. You need to rely on your assists a lot, but you also can't just spam them. And, you know, you need to pay a little bit of attention to your ammo, even though you refill fairly decently. You can't just fire them out. Honestly, I'm probably firing them off a little too often in a lot of these matches. I should have been relying a little bit more on my missile and machine gun and stuff like that. You can see, I feel like my movement is getting a little cleaner here, though, compared to the early matches we started with. I'm not going in as much, though. Also, the Accuy's melee game is honestly pretty solid from what I understand as well, too. But you can see I'm trying to mind my footing a little bit more. I managed to, you know, do what I can, and I took out the Gushin Rebake Full City there in midair, so that was nice. Trying to home in on the Zaku, amazing. There we go. It feels so satisfying to tag him with the little machine gun pellets. So the problem with the machine guns is that they're really good at annoying the enemy and also just tagging them like that, because it's not as obvious or as staggering as the full beam rifle shot necessarily. But what it is good for is it's really good at laying down kind of like just like suppressive, like covering fire, and just really doing a good job of annoying the enemy or hitting them at weird angles because of how it tracks and zooms in. Because you know, you have a little bit more of a stream that can hit in situations that a solid single more condensed beam may not necessarily. So that's something I've been able to appreciate a little bit more as I've played the game. Is there's been situations where it's like, ah, damn, the only reason I was able to win the match there was because my machine gun fire was able to stick onto him for a bit longer. But yeah, one thing that is worth noting is that it is going to take a lot longer to knock down the enemy with just the concentrated machine gun fire, and chances are, unless they're in a position where they can't really escape it, or they're, you know, unless they're being, you know, they might be pinned down by your partner or something, but it's kind of harder to get knockdowns with the machine gun fire, which also tends to, in my opinion, be why you tend to find the machine gun fire more at the lower cost units, like the 1500 costs. And there we go, I am firing at my partner mid-combo again. God, I'm such a dumbass. Just trying to get these assists off. This Accuy's doing a good job of a lot of Acguy mirror matches. I didn't even intentionally do that this way. I think maybe the better matches I had here was when I was able to do the Acguy mirror matches. I was able to out Acguy the other Acguys a little bit. Partner and I were able to sandwich that Susanoo there. See, just look at that assist spam. That was a massive waste of ammunition, but I wanted to make sure we got the kill. Hamon Acguy going to be overcost. Does have extend burst, though. Sometimes, even though this is something I've done as I've gotten a little bit better as a player, but sometimes, even though you overcost a specific unit, if they have extend burst, sometimes I'll still go for the other partner if they aren't using extend burst, even if they have a little bit more of a life lead. And there we go, look at that. Managed to hit him with the pinball super. I felt so great. Felt that was just wonderful. I really love that match and how that ended. But yeah, sometimes ooh, look at that, perfect. I didn't even remember that. God damn, good job, me. I think that's the only perfect I've ever gotten as the Acguy. I haven't really played the Acguy since the game came out. I much preferred the Hamon Acguy. It's just a little bit more to my play style, personally. But regular Acguy is still pretty good, too. I just need to practice with it a little bit more. But no, as I was saying, sometimes even though I overcost a specific person with my teammate, if they have Extend Burst, sometimes it can be a little bit more of a hassle than it's worth, and it just makes more sense to go towards the other partner, even if they have a little bit more life. You know, especially if they've wasted their bursts already, and you know they don't have as many escape options. You just start to learn little tricks of the trade like that the more you play, which I feel like that is the one thing that I've learned from MBON that I can really carry over to other fighting games. I'm still really looking forward to Guilty Gear Strive. Goddamn, the new stuff they've released for that has been really exciting to me. So I might take a little bit of an MBON break, finally, after 200 plus hours, almost 300 I think by now, to play a little bit of Guilty Gear when that comes out. But something I really grew to appreciate with MBON is just that, you know, you start to pick up a lot of stuff just by playing, you know, not even necessarily looking up the guides and all of the video tutorials and all the shit in the world that online resources have put together, but just playing with friends and just spending a ridiculous amount of time in lobbies and just playing with other people and seeing how other people play the game. Sometimes you start to pick up different ways to find success on your own that just make sense to you, and ways that you can kind of learn and grow on your own. And I think that's something that's a work ethic that I think I want to try taking into future fighting games, is maybe just spending time looking up online resources and training mode stuff and all that, but also just fucking throwing my head against the wall and just trying to pay attention a little bit better while I play for a long period of time, and just trying to learn as many lessons as I can and be an active-minded player. You know, I think that was one of my major failings for a lot of the past fighting games that I've played and have been kind of poor at, is, you know, even if I put a lot of hours into them, I don't know if I was always being critical or looking at my old match footage in ways that I probably should have, or really thinking about why I lost in a lot of situations. I think I needed to be a little more critical of how I play, which is part of the reasons I'm happy I'm doing this series, and I'm happy I do my other fighting game series, Back Alley Knife Fights. I think that's a good excuse to, you know, not only make fun stuff for y'all, but also kind of take a more critical eye at my matches and kind of see, what the fuck am I doing here, or what can I make fun of myself for, and try to kick bad habits to the curb, that sort of thing. So the match isn't going great here from the start. Managed to clear out this bottom section of the map of all its buildings, goddamn. But half the life bar is gone. I'm wasting a lot of my ammo here. I knew I could probably take this Cheridum, though. The Gundam 00, like the lock-on suits, tend to have also have very specific play styles where they really are trying to play more of a back roll and punish landings. At least the Dynamaze, I believe the Zabanya and the Cheridum are very similar, where on direct confrontations they are somewhat limited in what they can do, but they're very good at playing the supportive role or punishing you for making mistakes. So I knew I could win that one fight with the Cheridum earlier in the match, and there we go. We're able to overcost the hot scramble there, and just zoomed in on him, missiles to the face, and we won the match. So yeah, Acguy, fun mobile suit, adorable design. I love this little guy. It was a pretty great match, yeah, I agree. Look at that. #1 on the scoreboard right there. So yeah, I'll be back with some more MBON footage in a little bit here for you. Have a good one. Hope you have a good night.